Good morning, YouTube. It's Trader Rob. Today is Friday, February 6th. Let's finish off this week nice and strong. Let's get into the charts. All right, on the NQ, what are we looking at here? So we've got a trade set up here for a long at the 24,597, targeting the 24,606 and the 614, with a stop at the 24,582. That's to the downside. For a short, we've got a 25,026 targeting the 25,018 and the 25,010 with a stop at the 25,035. So those are the two closest setups we've got on the NQ currently. On the ES, we've got a setup to go long at the 68.16, targeting the 68.19 and the 68.22, with the stop at the 68.11. And so far, nothing in gold that looks interesting. So we'll see here on the NQ. Hopefully everybody's having a great morning. Let's start it off with a bang if we can. NQ's been a little spastastic here the last week or so, especially at the open. So let's see. Had pretty much a continued dump. Doesn't really look yet. Maybe let's see if it goes for stops here. Well, everybody betting on the shorts there got squeezed pretty hard. That's for sure. So good morning, Carrie, Nordic, Joseph, Karen, Rob, Greg, Keith, Richard, Steve, Joe, John, Flav 13. Good morning. Kind of a nasty open there. Morning, Anna. Morning, Milan. Rob, would you buy Bitcoin here in the blood in the streets moment, or do you think the tech sector still can crash? I don't follow crypto too well. I think that the crypto market is just completely unpredictable. So for me, it doesn't follow a lot of the fundamentals of my price action. Granted, I could probably scalp it pretty well, but as far as long-term outlooks on it, I don't really have much. All right, so remember on the ES, we do have this short set up at the 69.03, targeting the 68.99 and the 96. On the NQ, we've got a short at the 25.026, down to the 25.018 and the 25.10, with a stop at the 25.035. And then to the downside, we've got a long sitting at the 24.597, targeting the 24.606 and the 614, with a stop at the 24.582. So as far as high impact news, we got Michigan sentiment at 9 a.m. and we've got Iran-U.S. talks pretty much all day. Some nasty price action here. All right, looks like NQ's making a nice push here to the upside. Let's take a look at the ES, same thing. Let's see how gold reacts here. There's the tap. Should see a good reaction here. Back to the ES. Again, looking for a short at the 69.03. Gold would have probably hit TP1 only. Yeah, gold would have come actually pretty close to TP2. TP1 would have been right around, actually probably TP1. That's it. Let's see. For those of you wondering why I map out gold and don't trade it, is that I'm still in this cautionary roll in gold right now. I would say a good majority of my setups have been working in the last about 3 days that I map out, but like I'd like to see TP2s constantly getting hit. So like my TP1 on this trade would have been right around here. TP2 would have been somewhere right around there. Actually, my TP1 would have been somewhere right around here. It's putting up a fight, so that's good. I mean, let's see here if it sweeps. It's got a lot of liquidity right there that it could sweep into. Okay. That in the memory banks. A lot of volume sitting at the 6900s. You can see the delta going kind of nutty. I broke through that one pretty quick. 700 positive delta. All right, I'm going to invalidate the setup here. Morning, Nate. No big sick. I'm not, based on this sweep right here. Could still work out, obviously, but I've seen this play out too much. Only level of defense at this point would be the 6905s, which is right here. And that to me is just a little too close for comfort on the stop loss at 6906. Don't like this wick. And I don't like this wick. Paste. I don't like that wick right there. So this would be the last layer of defense there. Let's see. I don't think it tapped into the stop loss there, but pretty freaking damn close. $69.10s now seem of interest to them. Freezing. Might need to go get a sweatshirt. All right, we got the NQ on deck. And my eyes are getting bad. I don't think that hit. That went to the 0650, so that missed it by a tick right there. Let's see. All right, nice. Great invalidation there. Great invalidation. Oh, I knocked out my... Let's take a screenshot of that. Save some capital. All right, NQ next on deck is the 25026, targeting the 25018 and the 2510. We'll keep this, we'll stay tuned here. And like I always say, your successful validations in my eyes is even better than my wins. Nate, not sure if I already told you, but good morning. All right, guys, I'm going to grab a sweatshirt really fast. I'm freezing. Give me 1 sec. All right, I'm back. What'd I miss? Alright, gold should react right about here. And push to new highs, I think, today. Ooh, okay, sweet pattern. Let's see how this plays out, this candle here. Don't like that. Let's see. So full disclosure, both the electric company and AT&T is outside. They rang my doorbell. They punctured my main power line about a week and a half ago. Caused me not to have power for about a good 12 to 14 hours. And they had to call the electric company to come in and give me a temporary service. And they just came by saying that they were going to be working on whatever they messed up. But they didn't say that they were going to take my power off. So, but I got to be on the lookout. So if we go back to the NQ here, so this to me now should sweep this down here. Pattern is correct. Ooh, tap and go. Let's see. My thought process would be that they would sweep these guys here, but we'll see. Alright, let's take a look at the NQ. Got a few things here going on with the NQ now. Got a nice little break of structure right there. So let's see if we could find anything right here. This would probably be pretty quick. Nada. Right here would be the only thing of interest to me. But I don't think good enough to trade from. Maybe, just quite maybe. This would look something like this, like this. The next big area of unbalanced volume on the NQ is going to be sitting down here, which is the market open. I don't put a lot of weight on that at all. All right. So I'll keep this area here just to kind of see how it reacts, but I do not trade from the market opens move. Well, gold would have worked out. I didn't take a picture of that. Shit. Morning, Coach Cleats. Steph, good morning. Rumo, I'm short NQ 24,891. That seems like a post every day on a random short. Not a big fan of posting a short without any context to it. The short setup here at the 24,882, targeting the 874, 867 with a stop at the 889. I will be in footprint mode if we get up there. About 25 minutes for IB to be set. Do hear some drilling outside. It doesn't make me feel good. Doesn't give me a warm, fuzzy feeling. So I'm sure you guys all know, but Apex obviously announced yesterday that they're halting trading on precious metals as well. So several prop firms have either limited it to the micros. I think Top Step came out yesterday saying they've even reduced the micro limit down to 246, I think it was, or 257, 256. I think it was 246. Next area for me to look out in gold would be right here at the 4971.6, targeting the 4975 and the 78s with a stop at the 4967. Again, not trading the setup, but just kind of want to see how price action reacts here to this band. Yes, they missed their target here at the 69.10. Thought that would be an area that they would want to balance out prior to the move, but they went through a shit ton of contracts right here, so they're just completing auctions at this point. So far, just a recap, we did have a short signal that I gave to my signal members here this morning at the 69.03 for a short. I did invalidate that setup based on the previous sweeps of TP1 and TP2. We had two sweeps there, one here, and I invalidated the setup and It's a good thing I did, because that would have got right to our stop loss and knocked us out. So preserve some capital there on that invalidation, which to me is, as a trader, is just as important as finding your wins. See how that Michigan sentiment came out. If there's any headlines here. Well, so big headline, obviously, from the Iran talks. Iran refuses to end nuclear enhancement in talks with the U.S. I don't think that's going to play out very well for them. University of Michigan came in higher than expected. Okay. Pretty sure Bostic was speaking this morning, the Fed speaker. I think he's already done, though. If I'm not mistaken. So that Iran headline came out at around 9 a.m. Could have been news here. That move could have been news, guys. So this move right here happened at 8:59, 9:01. All right, so this setup right now probably goes down to like a B minus C at best, because this was news related. I think I spelled related right. Just stay patient. Let the setups come to us. Took 15 points off the 5-minute level at the open. Nice. All right, I'm going to switch over to footprint just to kind of see what's kind of going on here. Let's see if a good footprint gives us any indication. Now remember, I typically do not put much weight into news, which we did have two pieces of news. We had the Iran headline, and then we also had the University of Michigan sentiment. But I think the Iran headline is probably the biggest mover out of those news pieces, which was a move to the downside. You know, sellers obviously stepping in. Now, do they defend this area, or was that just impulsive shorts? That's the issue when you're playing a volume-based strategy, is that you want the fundamentals of the volume to be correct. Just we want to always look for normal market, or I should say normal auction theory is what I was trying to say. We don't want the auction theory to be super influenced by just a headline, because those typically are not going to be defended very well. And then all the impulsive sellers obviously put stops at areas. So you're going to probably have stops sitting right here, which would be right above my area right there. That would be a pretty high stop loss area, which sits about 7 points above our stop, which they could want to sweep there. So just giving you multiple contexts as to, you know, why I don't like it. Now this move right here looks very interesting to me. I'd want to see them break structure down here. This would be important for them to break structure here. And if they were to break structure here, then I would look for my level right here and see what I can scalp from. Thanks, Milan. I appreciate you guys too. Gives me a nice feeling that I got a good group of people that come to the chat every day. So no break of structure here, so that to me is not a valid level yet. And I wouldn't want to see them balance if they wick anything, you know, in this region right here, then I'm not interested at all. Okay, because they're kind of sucking the volume out of my area that I'm interested in. And in fact, even this hanging around here is not, for me, is, what does that tell me? Maybe if you guys can answer, either any of my members or my Signal members, YouTube chat, if you guys have been following my strategies here, what is this telling you here? This kind of hanging around right here. Remember, we're on a 1 minute. We're not on the 5 minute. We're not on the 15. We're on the 1 minute. Let's see if you guys can pick up on this or not. And this is like a really proactive way to look at the market. This is kind of like looking into the future, kind of. But let's see if anybody can pick up on it. No takers? Shy? All right, so what I see happening here, okay, even though now we're going to break structure, what I see here is indecision. So my level, I think we can all agree that my level, that's not what I want to do. I want to do this. Why is this not working? There we go. My level would be right here, okay? This is where my level would be at. All of this hanging around here is telling me that this level that I'm currently looking at was not strong enough to break another unbalanced volume area, okay? I'm looking for impulsive moves to break structure, not this. So this right here is what would invalidate this area for me to react from. It could still react, because it did break some structure down here, but this is not a high quality setup for me anymore. Whenever I see this, it tells me that this level was not strong enough, and what does it need to do? It usually needs to come back, revisit volume to make another move. And so there we saw a slight reaction. Already I'm seeing a lot more drawdown than I would normally like to see. But this is what keeps you in the game. It's really, and you could look at this from a candlestick point of view. You could look at this on footprints, and it's going to give you the same response. This move told me that it was not strong enough to break structure. Now it might need to come back into here, balance this out now to balance out structure. But that to me is not a super A+ move, even though that would have given us 20 points already. 30 points now. But that's the way I see the market. All right, so gold looks like it would have taken TP1, missed TP2 though. So no good. But I like it. I mean, I'm seeing a lot more of my areas being respected really nicely. Granted, I would have preferred it to see TP2, but... little minor sweep here. Alright, I'll switch over to the NQ. Just take a look at this area that we had mapped out earlier. See if I can put this in the memory banks. Put that in my journal. NQ. Switch over to the 30 range footprint chart. We'll see what happens here. Arctic, it sounds like you had quite a morning. So I am currently on 10 ATM, I'm sorry, 10 point TP, 8 point stop ATM. Because if there was anything here that I'd be interested in, it would be on the 30 range. So it's about 7.5 points. So I'm willing to risk it's, you know, it's about 8 points to make the 10. Nice impulsive move. No footprint confirmation there though. TP1. Alright. So I got no footprint confirmation there. And that's why you typically don't see those footprint confirmations. I'm telling you, it'll save your ass. Now granted, that probably would have given you about 8 points. But for me, that's a great non-trade. So now I can take this. I'll go back into the NQ. What did it do, guys? What did it do? What were we talking about? Stops that were sitting right above here. News-related move. I don't put a lot of weight on them. Get rid of all that. All right, let's see if we can get it into the 25.026s. Let's get into some areas here, some juicy areas. If I was a genie, I was a genie. And they were banging the hell out of something outside. All right, 7 minutes for IB to be set. Kind of interesting. This corresponds pretty, this was that unbalanced area off the market open. Sorry about that. The ES is kind of in la la land here. They still need to pick off the 69.10. All right, 5 minutes here for IB to be set. Anybody got any exciting things for the weekend? Got a busy day tomorrow at work and a bunch of showings for tomorrow and Sunday morning. And check the Super Bowl odds. Let's see what the odds are set. Seattle's got to be the obvious favorite. So Seahawks 4.5 points now. Okay. I think it's better than I think about a week ago it was like 3 or 2.5 points, which was a shitty ass spread. This is a little bit actually no, I think it was the same 4.5, which is tough. I don't know, my theory is I think the Patriots are either going to be in it pretty strong or they're going to get blown out, which is unfortunate that it's kind of a big swing there. Anybody doing any interesting oh, somebody else was telling me they're going to the Nine Inch Nails concert. Actually, a good friend of mine is going to that. I think he got some kind of like either his company or a client that he's visiting. They've got a suite for that concert. New Jersey? Was it New Jersey? Where it's at? Oh, in Jackson, Florida. Oh shit, I thought he told me in New Jersey. Maybe they were in New Jersey. 'Cause I think he was staying in, he was going to stay in New York. I could be wrong on that, but I thought that's what he told me. All right, a minute here for IB to be set. $9.84. Let's see if we can get this set up now so we don't go into issues. Oof, market just moved. Felt my fan. Shit, I forgot what it was already. 984. All right, so IB is officially set at the 24,984 and the 24,700s. Be right back. All right, the NQ looks like it's kind of falling asleep here. I'm sure the ATR is still pretty high. 40 on the 1 minute. Yeah, that's a shit ton. 67 on the 5 minute. Even though these candles look pretty small, ATR is still pretty damn high. We're on a 15-point TP. Foss, I was talking, yeah, so around the 9 a.m. So the news headline on Iran came out right here. So this left unbalanced area, but this was all news, pretty much news headlines. So it would have been in that 860 to the 9, like to the 8, almost to the 900s. This area right here. Guys, if you haven't, I appreciate a like on the stream. I was going to say a love on the stream. You could always love the stream too. A like on the stream would help out a lot. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's royalty-free music, so it's funny. I think it was on the Halloween playlist as well. All right, and Q, yes. All right, Steph, have a good weekend, bud. So my feeling, commenting on Steph's comment there, Apex lets you trade 10 NQ, but I can't trade 2 micros. So I think a lot of the prop firms followed suit on Top Step was, I think, the first one to implement the halt on those precious metal contracts. So my theory is twofold. One, I think the swings in people's P&L in gold is probably too great. And I think that probably for their live funded accounts. They, I think everybody's margin requirements on cash have increased in gold. I know mine did with NinjaTrader. So I can see them, typically the way I would look at it is when they implement a rule like that, it's because they were getting obviously hurt by it. So it could have been a lot of P&L, a lot of either blown live accounts, which doesn't help anybody. And probably on the sim, they probably were seeing a lot of blown accounts, but probably a lot of very wild P&L swings with people's trading. And in the end of the day, you are still really trading. I mean, if you look at the definition of a prop firm, even if you're in the simulated environment or in the live funded environment, which the simulated is relatively newer, the prop firm industry has been here for a long time. They control risk, so they make the decisions on risk. They've got risk managers to define what might hurt the firm, and that might not necessarily align with what traders want. But at the end of the day, everything's a business. The harsh reality is if the prop firms were not making money, most of them would be out of business by now. Which again doesn't really help anybody in the industry. They wouldn't halt trading if they were making money. So it's not like there's an overwhelming amount of people blowing accounts, which again would just increase their revenue by resets and new eval purchases, new funded purchases. That's their P&L. So if it was helping them, I don't think that they would have probably implemented the rule. Now they could have maybe implemented the rule for their live funded traders. I agree. The spread on gold is absolutely insane. You're seeing candlesticks close and the next candle open, 10 to 15 ticks in a different spot. Versus the ES and the Nasdaq, which is a tick or two. Well, today's a day of patience, that's for sure. Nothing here. You can see here, I could probably use this little rectangle guy. That level right there is not worth shit because, on this candle that had an impulsive move, what did it need to do? It needed to, it balanced out the volume sitting right here, and it never broke structure. And those are typically what you see in those moves, where they need to re-tap into unbalanced volume to make the move, and even that wasn't strong enough to break another unbalanced area that was sitting right up here, right here. All right, about 8 minutes to the top of the hour. Yeah, Joe. I would say the portal is probably the way to go. Lags almost like a second. All right, Joe. See you, man. See you Monday. Have a good weekend. I don't know what the fuck they're doing outside. This is nasty price action, though, on the NQ. Nasty, nasty. Order book looks freaking terrible. Very, very thin. Gold looks like garbage right now. It's pure yuck. And Q seems to be balancing everything out. Seems like they're in a pretty fair value area right here. This would be a little micro scalp area. Which I am not interested in. But we'll see how it reacts. No real break of structure. U.S. State Department sanctioning 15 entities that have traded in Iran origin crude oil. So really the only big headline that came out of the Iran so far was their they refused to end their nuclear enrichment, which is obviously a pretty big headline, but this price action is pretty ugly. My guess with this price action is that a lot of people got chopped the fuck up today. No clear direction. You know, even if you're thinking we're making higher highs, fucking swept and killed you right there. Think you got to break a structure to the downside. Now they might kill you to the upside. It's okay. I'll let volume show me the way. All right, Apex announced 80% off sale. So we do have that piece of news. Let's see here. Anybody tell me the results of oil and gold this morning? Very nice little move here by the NQ. This is getting kind of close to this reactionary band here. I've been very interested in. Got a lot of volume sitting at the 15s, which makes sense. All right, no trade on gold, one and one. So which session one? I'm gonna guess oil session one. No, Greg, we did not give our boat a name yet. I still have not gotten my my title from the sale. So I've got like a temporary registration thing on there right now. A lot of volume. You see that? We're getting pretty close to the IB as well. 1,300 contracts. You're gonna probably want to go dip into the 15s, is my opinion. I'd hate to see the reaction there. That would kind of suck. IB is about 25 points away. I'm looking at it on my left-hand side of the screen. So good footprint there. A lot of negative, but sometimes on this too much of a positive delta, you kind of have to be careful there. That was 1,800 contracts, guys. So sometimes you got to be careful when it's that extreme. And anyways, my reactionary band's up here in the purple zone, so that's where I would like to see maybe if we can trap some buyers, or I should say some sellers, not buyers. We'll see. We'll see if that makes the move. That's enough for the move. You got a lot going on in the 15s. Let's see what happens here. There's the tap. A lot of positive delta. We just went through the IB in the NQ. Nothing on the nothing that I saw there on the NQ. Let's see. A lot of positive delta here, guys. Lots of positive delta. Hope they don't trap me here, but that was a pretty good footprint. They got so much up there by the 20s. I think I'm going to skip this trade. As much as it could probably work out. They got so much sitting right here that they might want to tap into. I think I might have missed both of them here. No footprint confirmation for me there. Let's take a look at the 30. Yeah, the 30 gave you, well, I would have wanted it right here. All right. I'm okay not taking that trade right there. And the ES to me looks very suspicious because we've got a boatload still sitting right here that they might want to tap into. These are signs. All right, OBS disconnected there for a second. So hopefully I'm back with you guys. That to me is a continuation trade back to the upside, so nothing there really that I would be interested in yet. Let's go back to the ES. Both continue, both are showing, the NQ and the ES are both showing strong buying pressure still here at this area. Like I said, on the ES, they could target the 20s, but they're both showing to me positive pressure here. It's just too high of a volume area for me to go long into it. I think it would be a very stressful trade. Let's go back to the NQ. But yeah, both of these are showing me continuation models to the upside. So now kind of conflicting there. Super happy with this non-trade here. Another continuation model to the upside above the IB. I mean, in this scenario, I think a long is actually a pretty smart play. This is what I see. There's a lot of resistance right here to the 2000s right there. Yeah, my thing right here would have been a long. But again, we're going into a lot of resistance here at the 2000s. So just think it would be a pretty stressful trade again. I think at this point we could just kind of see if we can get up to the 25.026s. And live to fight another day. And again, yeah, you can only see this with footprints. You can't see this on a candlestick. That shows you nothing. All right, let's stay on the NQ for a little bit here. See, I mean, you're getting a lot of conflicting results here. So And again, that was a combination of bookmap showing me that the 25,000s were stacked with orders. So kind of hard to long into that wall. It doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see what the ES is showing us. Still a lot of negative delta here. But you got this brick wall to contend with right here at the 69.20s. And it took a lot of patience there. This was probably the most action where we had to use some brain power that we've seen all morning. Strong move there by the NQ. So the NQ kind of broke free there. I'm on the 30 range on the NQ. Let's see how they defend this area here now. Let's see if they got the IB defended. Nothing there. Nothing on the ES. Positive delta there. Huh. Let's see if this flips. If this flips green here, I would not mind taking a long from here now, because we really don't have anything stopping it from the top side right here. Or let's see if the sellers stay strong. There's the flip. All right, I think they opened up. I'm gonna take a long here. So we might see some resistance right back at the 2000s again, the 25,000s, I should say. So that might be a safer target, guys. Right there, which is about 11 points. We'll see. See if it's got the legs. And then kind of have to get through the 95s as well. We'll see. Let's go. Give me a little push. Balance out that volume right there. Let's go. Just got to get through the 95s. Go. Go. Ugh. Missed it there by a point. And I knew that was where... Oh, nice. Nicely done. Dang, we got to got my 15 points. Ah. Small trade, but I'll take it. Footprint to the rescue. Shit ton of patience. Ah. Should have kept my 15-pointer there. All right, that was fun. You did get a continuation model here too, to the upside on here. Oh, let's take a look. Sorry, let's go back to the 30. Let's take a look at this 25026. Let's see what we could do here. All right, there's a tap. Come on. Ah. Well, no footprint for me there. That's a dirty dog right there. Dirty dog, man. What was that, 2 ticks? No, that was probably about 6 ticks. It was about a point. Ugh. It's gross. Freaking gross. Those hurt. It's bothering me. That bothered me. Off by a point there. Oh, not happy with that one. Never been so disappointed with a positive P&L, but that was ugly. I mean, that was the power there of the footprint. I mean, the footprint there saved your ass, but that was gross. I really didn't see that. I didn't really see that happening either. I guess we can get rid of this. Bye-bye, birdie. I would still say overall today, tough market. Very, very tough price action. You know, I mean, this trade took me almost 2.5 hours on the chart to just extract 10 points, maybe 11, almost 11. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to call it a day for YouTube. One win on the books. Positive 540 for the day. Just a really tough day of trading. I'm getting a little bit, I don't want to say mentally exhausted, but I felt like we used up a lot of computing power right here in this last 15-20 minutes of the market. Wishing everybody a fantastic weekend. Looking forward to the Super Bowl. Most importantly, looking forward to Monday's trading day. Be back at it at 8:30 in the morning. Look out for my video on Sunday with the tradable levels. I know one did not come out last Sunday. I was on the cruise, but I was able to at least send out an email to everyone that's on my email list. If you haven't joined that, you can go to robstrades.com and put your name and email in there. And every Sunday I mail you out my weekly bands and tradable levels. And with that being said, stay patient out there. It's a tough day in the markets today, so don't give anything back. Take care, guys.